Hi everyone. It is August. Anyway, I guess the leaf wants to be there. So it's August 2nd. It's Friday. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It is muggy. We had weird rain showers last night, and it really didn't rain real hard. It just was like low clouds. So it is like really muggy. I haven't been around. Actually, I've been around, but and I've been filming, but I just haven't had time to edit, and it's been a hard about 10 weeks. The last video I made when I was looking on here, I think it was an update. It was about the same time that I announced that we had a project going, a contest, and I'm watching a spider crawl down my tomato plants. My oldest daughter ended up coming back home for a while, and she's moving out here. Hopefully within the month. The 4 cats, the siblings, they went crazy. They lost their space. They were, it was just too much for them when they're used to having, you know, the space to themselves and all that kind of stuff upstairs. That was their space. Well, when my oldest moved in, she moved back in upstairs, and I have a very tiny house. And just bringing in different routines and all that other stuff, it freaked the four cats out. So looking at hindsight now as of today, what I should have done about 4.5, 5 weeks ago, when this problem really hit its zenith, is when I threw my couch out and my carpets out and everything, instead of continually trying to outsmart the cats. There's nothing wrong with them other than they're stressed out. Trying to outsmart them because they started marking their territory. And anybody that has had fur babies that all of a sudden start marking, you take them to the vet to make sure that they're not sick. Well, none of them are sick. They're just stressed out because they're in a tiny house and their space has been occupied. So they're letting me know. Unfortunately, my furniture was newer. A couch that had only been 2 years old, and a chair that I just paid off, a recliner, lazy boy type chair that I had just paid off, was my brand new chair. And my husband's chair was I think 3 or 4 years old, but there was nothing wrong with it. And then it just progressively got worse, and the cats started fighting with the 4 siblings, started fighting, and it just kept progressing. And I'm like, what is going on? So I got the happy collars. I bought all the pheromones, the stuff that you put in on the walls, and the spray and the plug-ins and everything you can think of for these cats to get them to calm down. And it just progressively got worse, which then put my anxiety through the ceiling because I wasn't out working in my garden. I had been cleaning walls every day. And what I should have done, instead of trying to save my furniture and Bissell it constantly, and I was constantly cleaning it every day, 3.5, 4 hours a day. In the morning when I would get up, I would go and I'd scrub walls and floors and Bissell the 2 chairs and try to save all this stuff from them. I should have just thrown it out. Today, I had enough last night when I got home from grocery shopping, and I had enough. They had remarked all my furniture, the last bit of my chairs, and I had just got done Bisselling it. And now I'm using stuff that the vet gave me to take away all the smell. It takes away the markings. It takes away everything, and it works beautiful. I mean, it cleans everything. And you can't smell it. I can't smell it, and that's why the cats are remarking it, because it smells brand new again. But they had just marked it so bad that I had given up. And like I said, I should have done this 6 weeks ago. I have not been out in my garden. I have been fighting cats. And the only thing that has survived in my garden is my tomatoes and my peppers, because they're on the hydro. My dahlias that I had gotten planted are fine because they were actually in the ground. Anything that was in a container or a bucket or hanging or I had to water is gone. I just didn't have time. When I clean in the morning, if I had to go make an errand or go grocery shopping, when I come back, I'm watching the spider. He's now making a web around my camera. When I came back, it was another hour and a half of wiping everything down again. So today, we took the last 2 chairs, and I took the last couple of things off of my, that's a weird bug, a couple of things off my counters. They just marked everything. So my house now has just counters and just bare floors and just bare walls and a couple of cat poles, and there's nothing left. Which I just got back from the dump, made my husband his lunch, he went to work, my kids are at a concert, and I have the night to myself with cats that are peeing all over everything. But I can make a video, I can show you what has succeeded around here, and I can also show you the mess that I have to start cleaning up in the yard, which, back to my rambling, is now, since I have no furniture to worry about, and I have no carpets to worry about, and I have nothing on the counters to worry about, all I gotta do in the morning when I get up, and I don't think it's gonna be 3 hours because I don't have to bustle anymore, is grab the mop bucket, mop, wipe the walls down, wipe the counters down, and I'm done. I should be able to get it all done in about an hour, and then I can get outside and I can spend as much time as I want outside. And if my daughter gets this apartment that she's trying to get, she should be out by the 15th. Then I can go upstairs and I can put linoleum down on the floor, and the 4 cats will have a whole entire 14 by 25, actually it's 18. It's 18 feet wide by 30 feet room. And all their cat poles can go up there. They can have all their toys up there, and they can have a whole stress-free life. So anyway, did you see? I wonder if that went across the camera, because he's making his web around. He's mad at me. I broke his web when I came in to put my camera up. And he's going to get mad again because I'm going to have to break my web to get my camera down. Oh well. Anyway, sorry Spider. You're really put in a bad spot. So I'm going to let you see the tomatoes. Now our weather for the month of June was dark. And it was cooler than normal. And the weather, usually the 5th of July is when we get our... I'm sorry. They make webs really fast. But usually the 5th of July is when our weather, perks up and we get summer. Not this year. So we still had dark and gloomy beginning of July. We had a couple of warm spells, like one, I think there was a weekend in May, and then I don't think June we even had any kind of nice weather. We might have had 1 or 2 days scattered in there, but it mostly was just dark and icky. And then July finally started warming up last week. So July finally started warming up last week, and now August, so far yesterday was nice. It was nice all day, and then last night the clouds rolled in, and then like I said, we had the sweaty rain. It wasn't really good rain. It didn't get anything soaked. It just made everything damp and whatever. And sticky. We're just sticky. So let me take you around, show you what I have, and then I'm gonna put in some pictures of the things that bloomed and everything. The dahlias sure turned out pretty. Project is almost done, and the amount of time that I have had to work on anything, and my husband has, he's almost got the outside part of it done, and as soon as that gets buttoned up, I'll be able to finish the inside, and the inside shouldn't take me very long to do. Yeah, that's about it. I will, since I have figured out what, just getting rid of everything and stuff, what I'm going to do is this evening I am going to start some more Swiss chard. I'm going to start some broccoli. What else am I going to start? Some lettuces and some beetroot. And these are all 60 days. So all this, because we're zone 8, all this stuff I can start now. I have my Malabar spinach here that actually finally started growing in the greenhouse, believe it or not. And I got some really nice leaves. So I'm going to repot that and put that in a bigger pot. And I think I might just leave that in the greenhouse. I've only had 2 red tomatoes and I just picked them today. Very strange. The tomatoes, even in this greenhouse, 3 weeks. At least 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, because usually I have the cherry tomatoes. The first cherry tomato is usually by July 4th, I usually have my first set of cherry tomatoes, but they didn't set fruit until, I think they didn't set fruit until July 4th. They were finally setting fruit. I'll have to look at my pictures because I do have pictures. I've topped them and I've let them get kind of tall this year because of the fact is it was so dark in June that they set fruit, and then the next time they set fruit was about 18 inches, and my Corday Blues, my big ox hearts in the back, you can see them, they're huge tomatoes. There's not very much fruit on the tomato plant. They just would not set fruit. Now that could possibly be too because for the last 8 weeks I wasn't out here with my toothbrush and I wasn't hitting the flowers and knocking the pollen down to help them. Being that my greenhouse is netted, the bugs can't get in here. There's not very many bugs that usually get in here to pollinate. So usually it's me that goes around and knocks my tomatoes, but this year I just didn't have time to do it. So where there is fruit, I came out a couple of times and just shook my tomato plants real good. And then this first row is all the cherry tomatoes. I have 3 fans in this greenhouse, and these cherry tomatoes get hit with wind from the fan every day. So they set fruit a little bit better than the ones that were in the next one over. But let me get you off the tripod and I'll show you what survived in the greenhouse. It's not a spectacular year, but because it's only August 2nd and because we are in zone 8, I still have time to make a fall crop. So that is what I'm going to shoot for. Not everything is lost. I feel bad, but not real bad. It's more of a, oh well, life sucks today, and it just is what it is. But if I would have been able to see myself 6 weeks ago sitting right here, I would have said, oh my God, the first time that I threw my couch away and the carpet away, the chair should have went. And instead of bistling and spending all that time trying to race. So anyhow, let me get you off this tripod and show you the tomatoes, show you the peppers. My pepper plants did really well. That's what I have here, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going. My goal is for this weekend. This weekend's supposed to be decent, and like I said, I have no furniture left in the house. It's an easy, quick hour mop, wash the walls, spray everything down, and go. So I have a whole weekend that I'm going to get a whole bunch of stuff done on the yard. The weather's supposed to be semi-okay, but as long as I'm out here in the morning, I'll be fine. So, whoops. So what I am happy about is my angel wing begonia babies from, oh God, months ago. They all sprouted. These were all the little sticks, and these are my dragon wings that I started from seed, and I have one that bloomed. My little cherry tomatoes survived, and these, let's see, I don't know if they're going to show, these are the rest of my angel wings that I started from sticks. Now, this one is still alive, and it has not thrown anything out yet, but it's still alive. Now, I think I see something right here. So it could be just because it did get really damp or really dry in here. But these are just doing, look at the base on that. That one's just doing really good. These little guys are doing good. So I'm really proud of being able to keep these alive. For not being out here, I just would throw water on them every once in a while, and they were fine. Now, I don't know if I can scoop back far enough. These are each one of my different cherry tomatoes. So there's like the pear, the red pear, the yellow pear, I think there's a flaming burst pear, and then there's the gardener's delight, and there's the black cherry, and then I think there's a yellow cherry too in here somewhere. So it's two tomatoes per pot, and this is on my hydro. Now I've already clipped them from the top, and they go all the way up to the top. And I think these are yellow pear. Nope, these are the flaming burst. So the flaming burst are just starting to ripen right now. And I mean, they have it's a nice sized tomato. They got nice trusses. A lot more up there on the top, and this is what I mean. I don't usually let them get this bushy on the top, but we finally got the heat, and I think they will be just fine. And I'll keep cutting the tops. In fact, they need to be cut again, just to keep them from shooting any more shoots off, so these will start turning red. Now these, oh, these are my red pear, and they haven't turned red yet. And then my chocolate pear is in here, and it looks like I'm just, see that one? That one's starting to turn chocolate. And then, of course, my red ones. Now, this vine, this one was laying on the floor, and I didn't catch it. And for the 6 weeks that I was gone, I didn't catch that one vine, and it was laying way down underneath here. So I just picked it up, and I just hung it up here. And you know something? I'm just going to let it creep across, and I'm not going to worry about it. But there's some tomatoes up there on the top and stuff. So we'll go to the second row. Now, those guys survived. But as you can see, my cucumbers, my strawberries that were in here, and a lot of my plants all died. My black-eyed Susan, it died. And my onions and my beans, and you know, I'm not going to worry about it. Just not going to worry. Now, those, I mean, look at the tomatoes here. They just, masses of them. They're just hanging everywhere. Now, I'm going to come back on this other way because I don't want to bother the spider. So these are down here. These are the bush tomatoes, and these are the Heinz. And I did get a lot of Heinz tomatoes, and this is the first ones that actually turned red, and they are sprouting more flowers. Now on the 15th, they got 2 weeks. On the 15th of August, all the flowers come off that have not produced any tomatoes. And I always do that the 15th of August because I want the rest of my tomatoes to grow and ripen. So all the tomatoes, or all the flowers that don't have tomatoes, and I mean, I'm talking, if they look like this, I'll leave them, but the rest of them are all gone. Now, these are the Corday Blue. Oh, sorry. Got a duck because there was a spider in there. These are the Corday Blue, and they are different looking than my normal Corday Blue. This is the ones that I was telling you about. These are really, really hearted, pointy bottoms. So I don't know if this is just a different variety or what, but they are beautiful. And I did get some halfway up the tree. Now this one, I gotta find the film. About 4 weeks ago, no, it was longer than that, it has to be about 8 weeks ago, when I was single stemming these, this right here was not an actual cut. It was actually the flower, and I'll show you. 2 of my tomato plants did that. And so what I did was I ran the V up and let the V take care of it. But it threw a deal of a flower truss. Okay, so it threw a flower truss at the very end, and it just bent the whole tomato over, but there was never another shoot coming up. It was the weirdest thing. 2 of my tomatoes did that. Hi everyone, it's June 28th, it's 5:30, and I just got done giving the tomatoes a haircut. Now the Corday Blues, those are my favorite tomatoes for doing sandwiches and sauces and stuff. They are not producing this year. I don't know what the problem is. The plants look weird. They're doing some weird thing where they're coming up with a truss, and then the very top of the truss, where the truss should fall over, and then the next part of your vine should go up, it's falling over and nothing. It's like it's bending over, and then it throws a super bloom on, and then there's nothing. There's no truss, there's no rest of the vine. It's not climbing, and they're not determinate tomatoes. They're indeterminate tomatoes. They will keep going until it freezes out. So I have a picture of that I'll show you on this video that I took 2 weeks ago when I first saw it. And luckily I was late on pinching out the side shoots, because if I would have pinched out all the side shoots and then I noticed that truss threw a super bloom, I would have nothing to come up. So I caught it before I pinched out the side shoot right below the truss. And so what I did was I just kind of tucked the side shoot up against the truss, and then I kind of made it into a new vine. And now that one is throwing the truss and it's vining like it's supposed to. So it was just something really strange. I had 2 of the Corday Blue that did that. I don't know what's going on with them. It's just weird. I've never seen that before. And all the different times I've grown tomatoes, I have never seen that issue. But yeah, this, I mean, look at how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Just on one major truss. And those are the big tomatoes. My pepper plants. Now these are the Mini Bell. And they did beautiful. This is the pot that I made. It's just a regular pot, and I made a drain in it, and this was a thing to see if 3 of them could work. They actually threw more flowers faster, and I have more peppers than the ones that are in the pots by themselves, which to me is quite funny. Now these are beautiful little peppers. They don't get any bigger than this, so if I want green peppers, I can come out here and grab a green pepper. If I want them to ripen a little bit more, they will be red eventually. And they're doing beautiful. I'm very, very happy with my pepper plants. Very sad. My celeriac and everything died. And oh, by the way, this is my sunflower challenge. Yay! Sunflower challenge. Didn't make it. And then I have my hanging basket tomatoes that are doing just fine. And I just have spiders everywhere, which are fine. These are the moringa that I have. They're suffering a snapdragon. I think this was I want to say it's a sunset mix, but I had white ones and pink ones and a whole bunch of different colored snapdragons. There's still a few blueberries. My grapes are loaded. Make sure I'm not stepping anything. My grapes are loaded. That is a lot of grapes, and I need to get out here and get the leaves cut back because they just went crazy, and I need to get them trimmed. Now these are Concord grapes, but if you look at what didn't get any help out here, my purple collard, they are so full of bugs, and all my lettuce sprouted. And you know, I left it. I just left it because I just didn't have time. But my lettuce has sprouted, and I got lettuce seeds. You know, I might just go ahead. I wonder, because there was 2 different types of lettuce out here. There was what did I have out there? I had romaine and I had green leaf. I wonder if they mixed. Ooh, that's another experiment that I could have. I'll just throw that in there. Oh. I got blackberries. I need to get out here and pick some blackberries. They didn't even get tied up. But this is what I'm saying out here in the back. It just didn't, it never got done. Ooh. But these, that's a good strawberry. Oh yeah. Okay, so I do have some strawberries out here that I need to come get. Oh, those are good. So yeah, and the critters, that's my water line right there, but that's foam. The raccoons have been ripping everything up. So the raccoons have made a mess out here in the back. So I have piles that need to be picked up. I have weeds that need to be done. But what I was going to say is, this is what I want to work on this coming weekend. I want to get the vines cut back. I want to get the grapevines cut back. I want to get this stuff cleaned up, and I'm going to set up my my cracky bins because I can do some cracky. So yeah, so that's what I want to get done this weekend. And I have been watching a lot of you guys' videos. There might have been a time or two that I haven't commented on them. I just haven't had time. I'll watch them and I'll fall asleep and I'll forget to comment. So yeah, lots of tomatoes in here. So anyhow, that's what I've been doing. Thanks for watching and subscribing. And I am going to attempt to try to get back on track for the month of August. And there are still things that I wanted to show you guys. I had a couple of projects other than the major project that is taking forever to get done. A couple of projects that I wanted to get done that are kind of cool little projects. So I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna go start some of these seeds that I have right here. I'm gonna go start a couple of flats of those and go ahead and I have a few minutes, go out and deadhead the dahlias. And here's some pictures of some of the really cool dahlias. And a couple of the people, let's see, my sister sent me a picture of, she's got a really cool one that I'm going to try to keep the tuber, get the tuber growing and pull it out and see if I can possibly get some starts off of it, because that dahlia I really want to keep. It's a really cool dahlia. And then I have a white one that is really nice too, that I'm hoping that will produce a big enough tuber that I can keep growing. What else? Yeah, that's about it. So anyhow, for me here in the greenhouse, have a great weekend, and I'll get back to you and I'll show you what else I've been doing. So talk to you later. Thanks for watching and subscribing. Thumbs up, everybody. Bye-bye.